Hi, welcome to Two Non-Doctors. I'm Liz Mealy.
I'm Maria Shahada.
Yeah, how you doing, Muffin?
I'm all right. How's it going?
It's good. We were just saying I'm pretty excited about our topic today. It's weird. I like weird.
Yeah, I was like, let's get weird in season three. This is the first episode of season three. So
Yeah,
yay.
you guys made it.
We did
This
it
is
too. Yeah.
this will be episode 101, right?
Yeah.
Over 100 episodes. Whenever I think about like not sticking with something, I'm like, I did 100 episodes of something during the saddest time.
It's pretty yeah, I'm glad we stuck with it because like both of us just don't stick with things. So
But it's like, it's also, I mean, I think there's a part of me that I don't know how long this was like a band-aid for our career.
yeah.
So I didn't know how long we would be doing this in general, let alone, I don't know. I thought we'd run out of topics. I mean, I think with today's topic, you're gonna be like,
we
you have.
run out of yeah. Season three. Have you ever thought about eating wood? Let's talk about it.
Wood, can you sustain a life off eating it? Next question. I know our
It
Googles
would be a partner.
our Googles actually just show like a trajectory of like trauma to acceptance to like boredom to real curiosity. Like, I really think if we charted our actual Googles from beginning to now, it would say a lot about our psyche.
Oh, we're gonna be like 89 in doing this, and then our Googles are gonna be like, my heart stopped for 3 minutes.
Am I a ghost?
Yeah. Is this real?
What's
Am I
legally
still
dead?
here?
Yeah, I don't know. I was like getting ready for this episode and I was like reflecting. I was in a very reflective place. It was also very late at night. Might have not been completely awake. And I got reflective on our also. So you're coming with me to Prague,
Yeah.
and the woman that books the gig also booked our hotel. And so I was letting her know, like, hey, can you put your name on the hotel or whatever? So I get this email that's just like, hey, this might be too personal. What's your relationship to Maria?
Why is homosexuality illegal in Czech for
No,
public?
I guess she was saying like, if you want me to get two twin beds instead of a queen bed and it's the same price, would you want that? Or if it was cheaper? And I was like, but it made me laugh so hard where I was like, what is my relationship to Maria? I was like, I was like, sister? I literally just was like best friend. And we both have this, we're both not full-size humans. So whatever, like, you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
but I guess she just wasn't sure my sexual orientation. So she didn't want to suggest two twin beds. And then I'd be like, she's my wife.
Oh my God, that's so funny thinking about her conundrum on her end. She was like, okay, I can ask, but that's weird if I ask. But if I get two separate beds and they're together, it's going to seem like a judgment. And if I get one bed and they're not together, like it probably took her hours to just like, hey, sorry.
And then I think she looked you up and realized you were a comic. And then in her mind, I guess that she was like, oh, she's a comic. So whatever she is, it doesn't matter. Like it was almost like, but it was very funny. Like I never even, because like I think
throw
about
me in a closet. It's fine. I'm fine.
But I also think about the fact that like we like as a comic in general, you just make it work. You know what I mean? The amount of couches we've slept on and whatever. But like, remember, I think it was the second time we went to Europe, we got an Airbnb together and we were trying to find a place and it was a full bed. And we were like measuring what a full bed is. And we're like, oh, that's plenty of space. Like we'll be fine. Like we won't even, it's like how people talk about getting a king size bed and they never see their wife again. Like,
yeah.
Like I was like, I mean, she's my best friend. We're girls. We'll be fine. But I just felt like, I don't know, the email made me genuinely laugh where I'm like, oh, I have to define who Maria is to a woman I've never met in Prague.
Podcast partner.
So. Yeah. So, we're pretty close.
We're in each other's faces all the time.
Yeah. No, we fight like a married couple. Does that say anything? Yeah. It was just, that was what I was doing. Thinking about us.
Oh, that's so sweet. I was just, how long have we been? All right.
I totally forgot to start the timer.
Oh, that's okay. I have COVID.
Yeah. Way to do it. Do you think you've ever had it before, by the way?
I think I had it like April of 2020 when I couldn't smell anything. And it was before that came out as a symptom.
Oh yeah.
And I was like, I thought it was like a sinus issue. And then somebody was like, I think that's a symptom of COVID. And I was like, not everything is fucking COVID. And then it came out like it was like, no, that's definitely a symptom of COVID. But that's the only other time I think I had it.
Do you think you got COVID original and probably what, Omicron?
Yeah, I got the OG COVID. Like I had COVID before it was cool. And then
Well,
just
I
COVID
genuinely
original.
think I had COVID in mid-February of 2020.
Yeah, when you were like leaving London, you were like, I feel weird. Bye.
No. I don't think
Oh,
it
when you
was
were
then. I think it was right when I was like, I think I was starting to feel better right before I left for Paris because I had the worst cold I've ever had like mid-February, like when I was in Atlanta. I probably gave all of Atlanta COVID, is what I'm trying to say.
okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, you didn't know.
I didn't
So
know at all.
I've been staring at my four walls for days and I'm going a little crazy.
How many days have you had it? Like, how often are you allowed to test or whatever?
I can start testing tomorrow. So like tomorrow I can have my first of two. And if that's negative, I have to wait a day. And then if that's negative, I'm allowed to come out of isolation.
Oh, I hope that happens.
Well, me too. I hope for everyone's sake.
For everybody I live with, it is necessary. How are your symptoms?
Fine. It was like a cold. It came on really quickly. It was really weird. So I was like really tired. And then I was like, well, maybe I'm just tired or whatever. But I was Zooming with somebody and I was like, God, like I'm really tired. And then like an hour later, it was like suddenly like I was all stuffy and I was sniffly. And then I had a sinus headache and like sinus pressure. And I couldn't sleep that night because my symptoms were so bad. And I woke up in the morning and I tested and then I had it. So yeah. So but then like the cold symptoms lasted a couple days. But now I don't really have any symptoms now actually. Like I have one that was part of my Google, but like other than that, it's just pure like I like sitting in bed all day. Like don't get me wrong, but at the same time, like I feel guilty. And so I started to do lunges earlier. And I did 20 lunges on each leg.
Great.
And I was so out of breath after. I was like, this, like, I know lunges are hard for me, but this is too much. This is too much.
I think my dad enjoyed having COVID because, again, it was probably like a light thing, but he had to quarantine from my mom and my brother. And so he just like, it was the first time I think his entire life that he could make an excuse to veg out. And he
Yeah.
just stayed in his room all day watching like probably Hallmark movies because that's my dad's favorite. And so, but like I would check in on my dad and be like, how you feeling? And he'd be in like such a good mood. And then I talked to my mom and she's like, he's loving it. Like, like, because I don't think none of the Mealies know how to relax, but my dad definitely doesn't know how to relax, even in retirement. So I think like this really was like, you can't be like being busy around the house. You can't be doing stuff. So he like for safety reasons leaned in. And then my dad was like, oh, this is the happy, like I want to be like, you're retired, calm down.
I gotta say, like the forced relaxing is nice because you're like, you get that like these thoughts come in your head, like I need to be doing something. You can't do anything. You shouldn't. You should relax so that your body can rest and recover. And then you're like, all right. So I just sit here. Yeah. Okay. All right. Get used to this.
And what's interesting is like clearly it feels better once you don't, because like when you have a cold, it's just like you barely can relax, like you just feel awful. But I think when you're like symptomless and you can't leave the house, you're just like, this is kind of like, I don't know, like, can we do this every year for 5 days?
Yeah.
There's like, you get like a regular vacation, you get a staycation, like that's your allotment.
Yeah. Yeah. So here we are.
Yeah. Well, I hope you feel better.
Thank you.
Announcements?
Yeah.
Yeah. Thank you to all our Patreons, everybody that supports us. We are beyond grateful. A lot of you have supported us from like, honestly, like week 1. So I don't even like season 3. Did you realize? So thank you for everybody that supports us. If you do want to support us, you can go to patreon.com/2nondoctors, full word doctors, and you get things like stickers and early episodes, bonus episodes, both weekly bonus and monthly bonus. You can be a Google guest. You can control our Googles. There's so many fun benefits to supporting us.
Yeah. And if you want to follow us on the socials, we're on Twitter, Facebook, and YouTube at 2non-doctors. It's the number 2 full word doctors. And then on Instagram at 2non-DRS. And if you have time and you're feeling nice, you want to leave us a rate and review, you can on Apple Podcasts, and it like helps us out a lot. We feel great. We share it on our socials. Although I think I just read somewhere that somebody was having issues with leaving a review.
Yeah, but I was telling them that with Apple, it takes a couple of days. So
Oh,
I'll
okay.
check back. Yeah, I've always known that even from when I've left reviews for like people's albums and stuff, it'll take a couple of days. I think they like check that you're not being a bad person.
Okay. Great. That's nice of Apple. So like I think this will, means March 13th, I'm opening for you at the Bill Murray and in London, and March 15th, my album comes out.
Woo! I had that written in my notes. I was like, make sure we promote.
Yeah. I think it goes on pre-sale like 5 days before or a week before or something. So I don't know. I'll I'll check that.
We'll be harassing you.
Yeah. Yeah, and then I have finally put some dates on my website at mariashahada.com.
Woo! You're doing it.
Yeah.
What's happening? I am heading to Europe. So I will be in Utrecht, Antwerp, Prague, which you'll come. You're now probably performing with me in Prague. So come see us in Prague.
Nice.
Vienna, Berlin, London with Maria. I think that's it. I can't remember. But then back in the States, in the spring, I'll be in Syracuse. I just booked Lexington, Kentucky. Hopefully that'll be on my website by the time you hear this. Boston, a bunch of cities in Michigan. Reno, I'm doing a TEDx performance, and then Atlanta. And then the big news is I'm taping my next special April 3rd in New York City at New York Comedy Club. The ticket link is on my website, and I asked people to use the promo code GHOST because that'll get you slightly discounted tickets, but really it helps me pay for this. So use the code word GHOST, and everything's at lizmealy.com. Yeah. You guys ready for fan mail?
Hang on. You're doing a TEDx performance?
Yeah. So it's just like I'm just doing 20 minutes of stand up.
Oh, I thought you were like doing a TED Talk.
No, I just go out there and I'm just like, jokes. That's all I got.
We should do a TED Talk. How to Google your way to better health. All right, cool.
Yeah. Yeah, no, when I first got it, I was like, ooh, what am I going to talk about? And then they're just like, you just perform. And I was like, oh, thank God. I didn't want to prepare anything. But I already was like pretending to put stuff next to my ear. Like, you know how you kind of like, I'm just going to be that wireless person.
Yeah.
Comedy.
Yeah.
How did we get here? What is funny?
You plan your drinks of water. This is where I'll take a beat and take a little sip of water because it makes you look cool and composed.
Yeah. Comedy. Hilarious. Funny people. What do they all have in common? And I hope I'm wearing this outfit, which if you don't know is a very cute blouse and sweatpants. So
I'm wearing a cute blouse and sweatpants. I love us.
There was actually like a really cute picture or something online where it was wear what you wore to Zoom day at work. And it was everybody wearing like kind of like a blouse or a suit and tie. And then it was like flip-flops and shorts and like just this very much like vacation on the bottom business work top situation.
You're kidding. That's really funny.
Yeah, it was really cute. So it was wore what you wore on Zoom Fridays. And it was, I have to say, fan of that office.
Yeah.
Okay. Fan mail?
Yeah. Okay. This was a message we got, and we're going to not use the name, but they say, this is embarrassing, but I was hoping to get some advice about online dating and dating apps. I was in a long-term relationship of nearly a decade, and the last time I was single, dating apps weren't really a thing yet. Even online dating at the time was a last-ditch effort situation for people trying to start families before doctors had to be heavily involved, but that was then. I've given a year and a half to just be me, and that was necessary, but I'm ready to be more than myself. Starting again is terrifying, and the dating scene is not what I remember it as. Remember it as any advice would be greatly appreciated. None of my friends use technology for dating. They met people during college or got married because someone got pregnant. Um, yes, best regards. Okay.
I mean, so I did dating apps 10 years ago. So just to give like time context, and I've actually started doing jokes about this because like I did like OK Cupid, which was not even, it wasn't an app. It was like,
I remember OK Cupid.
yeah, it was like a website. And I
Funniest
dated one
name. She was like,
guy.
all right, Cupid, fine.
Yeah. It really was just like, give up Cupid. Like, you know, like you did your best, Cupid. So I dated a guy. I went on a couple of dates via OK Cupid, and I dated a guy for I think like a year and a half off that. And then everybody else, and I never went back on it. So it's like everybody, because I always take breaks. Like I first of all, I commend you for taking like the time to like know that you need to heal your heart and clear your mind, because I think a lot of people don't do that, and then they realize like just like their fear or their baggage or whatever, and you're always going to take a little bit of baggage in each relationship. I mean, we're all taking our family baggage to each relationship, but like truthfully, one of the things I've always done accidentally well is I've always taken anywhere from 6 months to 2 years as we're just, that was traumatic. Let's just try to figure out what we really want in life. But I think that's really important. And everything online, everywhere, everybody says like, don't rush into the next thing, because then you're just going to keep making the same mistakes. So you should already feel good about just the fact that you took a break. But I started / stopped online dating. You know, Maria knows because I've read her every single message I've received. And this is the first time I'm in the swipey swipe world, like where it's so quick and you're like, no, yes, what, huh? Like you're just like, and it's honestly, it is so much more like fast paced, and it is so much more like either, I can't even describe it. Like it's such a non-starter in this world as opposed to what it was 10 years ago, that I don't know. I think everything's worth a try, but I went on it twice in the last 6 months, once for 3 weeks and once for a week. And I don't think I'll ever do it again.
Do you remember Coffee Meets Bagel?
I never did it, but I remember it.
Because you only got one match a day. So you had to really consider that person, which,
wow.
Yeah. But you get off it because then you go like, no, like you still do make a quick decision, but now you just have to wait a day.
Yeah.
I do think like, yeah, I mean, online dating is it's just like, just snap decisions. You go, I don't like their face.
Yeah.
But like if you had met that person in person with friends, and after a few months of getting to know them through people without that pressure of like, do we want each other? Are we going to like spend the rest of our lives together? Then you might go, oh, there's actually something really charming about this person. And then actually is really funny. And then next thing you know, you've developed feelings, and that's just not going to happen with the dating world. So like, or the online dating apps. But my advice is to not slow down. Slow down, everyone. Don't make snap judgments. I mean, I was on dating apps. I made snap judgments all the time. I like that was one of my first jokes, was like, we had too many options. And so it's just like, what is that, your scooter? No. Next. You know, and then that person with a scooter could have been lovely. They could have been great, and
they could have been just being silly. And that was the one time they were on a scooter. But like, it's funny because my parameters got crazy. Well, I was just like, too many people in a picture. I'm not digging. I'm not digging to find out what face is yours. I'm not digging.
Yeah.
Or like, I'd be like,
why
are there so many women? Are you trying to show that you're not creepy? Why are there so many women in this picture? Like, I was just like,
yeah, but I mean, we get super critical, and it's not really fair, because like they could easily be as critical towards me. So I don't like, what was I going to say?
Actually, the advice that I thought of for like, and this is 100% personal. I absolutely hate when the person lists what they're looking for. And it's like, because like, if you just say who you are, because the purpose of me looking is I want to know who you are. But if you're, and like, if you're trying to tell me what you're looking for, it feels so rigid. So like I would look at these like bios and they're like, I'm looking for a strong woman that knows when to, you know, speak up and also knows when to be quiet. And you're just like, hey man, this is already too much pressure. Like, I don't know what this is. Like, as opposed to like, it doesn't sound like you're trying to get to know somebody. It sounds like you're job interviewing. Like, don't apply if you're not this type of person.
Yeah, it's pretty arrogant. It's like I have so many choices that I need to start whittling it down. You know, I remember watching a casting director go through headshots. Like they came to speak to a bunch of actors about like, you know, what they look for in headshots. And so they start going through headshots and going like, ooh, this person's wearing spaghetti straps. I hate spaghetti straps. No. And then you're going, they probably thought that was the best photo for like the best outfit for their picture that they spent probably $800 on, which was probably an entire month of waiting tables, and you just threw it out because you don't personally like spaghetti strap. Go fuck yourself. But
Yeah,
that's just like
100%.
what happens when you think you're like, oh, I have everyone, but you can run out of people. I have a friend who's run out of people. Like the dating apps are like looking, they're like, I don't know, there's someone in Prague, I think. Like,
Yeah.
they're just like trying.
Is Denver too far?
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I think it's worth trying. And I know tons of people that have had success with it. I found it to be, I found two things. I didn't like my habits on it. Like I didn't like the swipey swipe actions and the reasons I became this spaghetti strap person where I'm like, what is that? No. But then also, so this was kind of funny. When I first joined in September, I told Prakash, and so we were out to dinner. He goes, "Oh my God, let me see your profile." And he's like, "I have a profile." And like, we're looking at it and stuff. And so we're looking at it. And then he's like, "Can I look at your messages?" I was like, "Sure, I don't care." And he goes, "You write too much." And I go, "What?" He goes, "You talk too much." He's like, "Keep it." I was like, "But I do talk too much. Like if you can't," and I'm telling stories. Like I was talking to this one guy and he was just giving me nothing. And I think what's happening, honestly, is I'm coming across even crazier because I'm being fully me with no context. Like most of these people don't know I'm a comedian. They don't know anything about me. And so they'll say something and I'll tell like a ridiculous story. And then they'll write back. This one dude wrote back. He was like, "Oh, that sucks." And it was like a good story. And I was like, and I just didn't answer him for 2 days. And then he unmatched me because I was just like, you're bad at this. Like,
Maybe you're bad at this.
But I do think I'm bad at it, honestly. I do. Because literally Prakash is like, you got to keep it quick and simple. And I was just like, no, I'm charming. And then all of the internet's like, you're not though.
You're not charming.
But I do think what's interesting is like, you can't take it personally. Like I'll say this, I have confidence of who I am as in person, but in general, I don't have confidence online. And I'm not gonna be like, because a bunch of strangers weren't excited about me, be upset about it.
Oh yeah, fuck them.
Yeah.
Literally fuck everyone.
Yeah. It's all like investment bankers. I don't want to date any of you guys.
Yeah.
So it's funny. I don't know why, but like it was all like lawyers and investment bankers. And then I'm trying to be like, well, I'm looking up types of law to be like, maybe he's a nice person. Like, but I don't know what type of woman is drawn to online dating because it just felt so. Also, it must be city to city.
Why are you only finding like bankers and lawyers? That's crazy.
I don't know. I think
why was I only ever given DJs? Why is everybody a DJ?
I think that's all that's left in New York right now. We're saturated with lawyers and yeah. But yeah, I mean, I know we probably weren't helpful at all, but I think being authentic, I think keeping expectations low. I think everybody's scared on it. Also, like, I'm just trying not to get murdered. So I think when you just have that perspective that most of the women on here are like both apprehensive and scared, then you just get to be a nice person and you'll be shocked by just being a nice, thoughtful person, how far you'll get. Because I went on a couple of dates with people just because they seemed nice.
Yeah. Nice. Yes. Nice is key.
Yeah.
If you say more than 2 words, we go, probably not a serial killer.
Yeah.
That's all you have to do.
Yeah. Just don't be a serial killer. Okay. Well, I hope that's helpful. And we're proud of you.
Don't.
We are. I think
it's a weird thing to say. We're proud of you.
I am. He took a break after a relationship. Most people just hop from relationship to relationship. And he's trying. And I think trying is important. Never stop trying. I feel like a mom right now. Never stop trying.
We're gonna stop this now.
Oh man, I just got dumped on my own podcast. All right, Google's.
Yeah.
All right. Mine's silly or stupid or simple. Can I go first?
Yeah.
Okay. Mine is, what's the difference between lotion, like body lotion, and body cream?
Okay.
Yeah. So this is the thing. I found this and I thought it's silly. I thought it was interesting. So lotions are clearly lighter, which we know, but they're actually more water than oil. And that's that thing. And then creams are heavier and they're more oil content and less water. So lotions are better for your face because too much oil can make you break out. That's why like all that face lotion is like oil free and da 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 da. So you want something lighter for your face. And then creams are better for your hands because you're like constantly washing them and they're getting more dry. So like the drier you are, the thicker the thing you want. So creams are better for your hands. And then even more dry skin. So think like eczema, psoriasis, you want to go either a cream or even go even further, which is like a body butter, which has like shea butter and all that stuff in it. But like acne prone skin is going to go lotion. And then things that are super dry is going to go cream. So I've always been a cream person, but I guess I was just thinking for my face, like, oh, should I also be doing a cream on my face? Because I've been using like retinol, which dries you out. And they're like, no. They're just like, absolutely not.
No creams for your face.
Yeah. So you do lotion for your face. And then also like if your body is a body that is not that dry, but B also breaks out, then you would want to switch to like a lotion as opposed to a cream.
Okay. But I have all kinds of oils for my face. There's like night oil. And then there's like, yeah, I mean, okay.
Yeah. I mean, I have different oils that I use too, but I guess they're formulated. I'm not smart enough. All I know is shit.
No, it's good because I mean, like the Body Shop always sells like the body butters, and then there's like the body lotions, and you're like, what it's heavier just by feeling it.
Yeah.
But it's like, I didn't know it was a difference between water and oil.
Yeah. No, and it's also like as somebody has eczema and little update. I've been gluten-free since February 1st. And I can't use the back because I actually ended up getting medicine for the back of my head. So really the test is going to be if it comes back or not, because it's healed from the medicine. But my elbows always have eczema on it. And my elbows are fucking smooth.
Great.
Like, smooth. Like I noticed, because I usually put it on like lotion on them before I go to bed, like every other night or whatever. And I went to put lotion on and I was like so excited. I was like, oh my God.
That's awesome.
So just 3 weeks of being off gluten and my body's like, yes.
I'm telling you, I haven't breathed this easy in a long time. Like I still have the occasional sniffle and stuff, and especially when I had COVID, but like just cutting out gluten has, I mean, I'm nowhere near as bad as I was. I'm not taking pills anymore. And I'm like,
oh my God, we're doing it.
Yeah. Cool.
I just want to update you on my elbows.
Thank you. No, that's good. Fuck gluten, man.
Yeah. What'd you Google?
I Googled if like heart palpitations were a sign of COVID.
Oh.
Yeah. Because like I was aware of my heart and it was annoying me. But I also had a lot of coffee and I think I was a bit dehydrated, and you're supposed to like drink a lot of fluid, and like I drink water, but
So coffee dehydrates you, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Okay.
And I drink a lot of coffee and some water, but I need to be drinking a lot of water and some coffee. So I need to switch those.
Okay.
But yeah, it's what are heart palpitations? They're heartbeats that are more noticeable to you. Pounding, fluttering, beating irregularly, even just for a few seconds or minutes. And it's caused by COVID. It's not just specific to the COVID recovery period, because this website is yourcovidrecovery.nhs.uk. But it just happens. But you should seek medical attention if the palpitations last a long time, do not improve or get worse. You have a history of heart problems, you're concerned about the palpitations. Now, this is only nice website. The rest, everything else was like, you're going to die. That's not good. And like everything was like, you have long COVID and your heart is all fucked up, and then you could just drop dead. So, but I'm just going to go with this one.
Great. Have you tried taking coffee less out? once you noticed the heart palpitations, or you did nothing?
I did nothing. But the you're gonna die stuff wasn't heart palpitations, it was heart racing, which is different. I'm just aware of my heartbeat, but like the heart racing was the one that's like concerning. And so if you find yourself like with your heart racing and out of breath for like doing little things that you normally do every day, like going up the stairs, then it could be an issue. Which
Okay. And
besides the lunges I did today, I'm basically fine in that area.
okay, and how long have you had like heart racing?
Since last night? Not racing, palpitations, the difference.
Oh, understood.
Well, if you're gonna be my non-doctor, I really need you to like
to focus, yeah, and listen. Sorry, I'll write this down. I don't know. I'm like all of this, like I'm listening and I'm just like getting back to my notes from last episode where we talked about heart health. I'm just like, oh.
I know, why couldn't we have just waited 1 week?
Yeah. But also like specifically what we talked about in heart health was that the symptoms for like heart disease and heart attacks for women look different than the ones for men. So in my mind, I'm like doing all this like medical research and I'm just like, is that a lady symptom for a heart attack? And it's like, it's not.
Oh, that's nice, Mealy.
You can't leave me. You're not allowed to leave me.
I don't want to leave you this way.
Yeah, I'll be so mad at you.
You're gonna die from heart palpitations from COVID. Like that would really
because you did 2 lunges.
I just wanted nice thighs.
I just thought maybe it would help. You're like, I was trying to get my steps in.
By the way, there's this charity shop by my place that always has like really crazy earrings. This is the latest one.
I legit was looking at those and I was like, did I give her those? Because I had something very similar.
Oh, do you? No.
Yeah, I had something very similar when I was like, probably when we first became friends, like when I was like 22, 23. So at first I was like, did I give these to her? But then I was like, oh, but I had earrings like that and I love them.
Oh, well, they made their way to me. And then when you come visit, we'll see if they make their way to you.
Oh, it's all good. Okay, let's get personal.
Yeah.
Okay. What game have you spent the most hours playing?
Like on my phone, Words with Friends. But if we're talking about board games, I really, really love Codenames.
What's Codenames?
It's a word game where you have like 25 words on display. And then, like say you're the captain, you have to get your partners to guess the words that are on your grid. It's hard to explain outside of the context of the game. Okay. So you have 1 word clues you're allowed to give your team. So if you want them to guess, like say one of your words is like potato, then you can be like Ireland for 1. Or if there are several words that go with Ireland, so one of the words is green, one's potato, one's a leprechaun, it wouldn't ever be that easy. And then you went Ireland for 3 and they'd be like, they could guess those words. Make any sense?
Yeah, it does.
Yeah.
I'll say this, word games, I'll never be drawn to them. Like Scrabble or Wordle or Words with Friends, like any of those kind of like, you have to be able to spell it or you have to like, but when I do play it and it works out, like I'm better than I thought, I have this like, you can't keep me down, elated feeling that like, it's not just a game to me anymore. It's like an IQ test that I'm winning.
Yeah, I get that. I feel incredible. I've gotten Wordle every single day since I started playing, but it's like no one cares, so I can't put it on Twitter. So I just like, it's just a little private thing for me. It's like, got it again. I guess I'm a genius.
I don't know anything about Wordle. All I know about Wordle is that everybody's talking about it. Everybody's playing it. I think I sent you that thing online that like a mother, like it saved a woman's life.
Yeah, because like she was sharing her Wordle with her daughter every day and then she didn't share it and her daughter's like, where the fuck are you?
And she sent the police over and she was kidnapped and that she was locked in the basement.
Well, first the neighbors went over and they were like, because she wasn't answering, but her car was there. And then they called the police and then she's yelling from the basement window, I'm down here. And some psychopath is in her bed, like hanging out naked. Like what? Yeah.
That's insane. Who like, aren't you supposed to take somewhere? He's so lazy. He was just like, I just needed somewhere to hang out. Like,
well, he was mentally ill.
Well, yeah. I didn't think he was well.
He asked her, I think one of the first things he asked her was like, can you hold me? And she's like, no.
Oh, I didn't get that far in the article.
80
Oh.
something 80 something year old woman. And he's like, can you hold me? And she's like, I don't think so.
And he's like, you go in the basement
Yeah.
and think about holding me. Yeah, which actually shows you like we always joke about, like, you can tell my mood via text, which is like a superpower, but it really does show you like the habits you have with the people in your life, like they're paying attention, you know? Like,
Yeah.
if you don't show your word, like you can't just all of a sudden one day stop sending me your Wordle, even though I never cared.
Yeah. Right.
So I mean, we both love board games. I would say two things. For a phone game, I've only ever played two games, but the one that I've like been consistent with for years, I got from Adrian, which is just this puzzle game where like things have to line up, and then like once you get a full line in any direction, it disappears or whatever. It is. I do it like when I'm anxious, or I'm like on the train, but I'm too tired to like read a book, or like I just have to I use it as a coping mechanism. It's just like this weird like puzzle game, and it's like not easy or hard. It's like not all I know is that when I mess up and like it goes, I have to start over, like I get mad at myself. Like I'm just like, if you were focusing, like, so I'm not playing it seriously, but then once like I get a high number, like if I'm at 4,000, I'll be like, yeah. And then I'll mess up and I'll be like, you don't focus, Liz. If you focus, we wouldn't be here right now.
It's funny, so like how much it matters when it doesn't matter. Yeah. Cause like if I like, there's one Wordle game, it's like a Wordle ripoff, but you can play over and over again. But if you get 10 in a row, then the scene like changes and it becomes like nighttime. And if you get like another 10, it changes again. You change levels. But if you get one wrong, you're back to the first level. And it infuriates me.
Same. So while I'm playing it, I do not care. But once I notice that I'm getting a pretty high score, I'm like, this could be my highest score. And this is what we've been working towards. And like, I just get very like, ugh. And then I love board games. I get my friend Amanda got me into, we still do it sometimes. It's Guess Who, like the normal Guess Who, where you have a card of a dude or a woman and you have to guess. But like we've always done it like judgmental Guess Who. So you'd be like, this person goes to a lot of Tony Robbins seminars, and then you start being like, no.
Oh, that's so funny.
Yeah, but like the problem is like we've known each other like 25 years. So she'll be like, he's gonna ask you if you want to do anal a lot. And I'm like, oh, is it this guy? And she's like, yeah, it is. like, you know what I mean? Like, we're like, but like, the point is to be like really like judgmental and descriptive. And it has like, it literally will be like, this guy is going to ask you out 4 times and he literally has no money in his bank account. And you're like, it's this guy. Like, it's obviously
that's so funny. I love that so much.
Yeah. So that one, like we've played a lot, and it's like, especially when we get it like on the first try, like literally first guess and you're just like, this seems like it could be an Olympic event like this.
Yeah.
But really it's just about like it's the reason you're basically testing your friendship, because you're just like, are we the same judgmental bitch? And the answer is like, yeah, we are.
It's so funny.
But I have to say it's like judgmental Guess Who, and I have to say I love it. It's like online dating, really.
Yeah, it is weird. Yeah, we could play that when you get here.
Like, I love that.
Have nothing to do, I'm sure, when we're in Prague.
Yeah, we're in Prague. You know what I really liked? So I a couple years ago, I went to Japan with my ex-boyfriend and his family, like his step family and his brother. And I hadn't met any of these people before, and it was super fun. And then, you'd be tired after like all day of adventuring. So we would like make dinner, and then we would play a bunch of card games, but we played Monopoly, but it was Monopoly the card game, and it's just like a lot quicker. And we became like, we did it every night before bed, and quickly became obsessed. So it's you can, because it's a card game, you can it's it's cards, it's as big as your hand. But I have to say, like, I got very obsessed with Monopoly the card game as like a travel game.
Yeah, that sounds cool.
Yeah, you drink coffee and play with cards.
I love coffee. To the point where I'll let it kill me.
I see that. Okay, topic.
Uh-huh.
I'm excited about our topic. This was your idea. Our topic is bugs as protein.
Yeah. Or
What
like
made
bugs
you?
as food. But yeah, I mean
Yeah,
protein.
yeah. What made you pick this?
I think I saw an ad in the tube for cricket flour and I was like, what's going on? Like it feels like it's creeping in.
Yeah, I read so many articles that explains why that's happening, and it was actually super cool.
Yeah.
So I'll start with a story. The
Cicadas.
cicadas. Thank you. I was like, I was almost going to look up videos because I was like, I forgot. Okay, so cicadas came out last year, like they come every 7 years or whatever. So then everybody was talking about them, and a couple of restaurants were making like cicada dishes
Mm.
and cicada tacos. And my mom and my brother went and got cicada tacos, and I was like fascinated. And my mom liked it.
Really?
Like, yeah, like she said it was pretty good. She said it was crunchy and it tasted good. Which I would think with anything, it's about how you spice it, right?
Uh, a lot of it, yeah. But I mean, like I can imagine it crunchy, like tasting sort of like what are those big corns called? Like the bigger ones.
Bigger corns?
No, they have those corn nuts, like those vegan snacks, where it's just like,
Oh, yeah, I know exactly what you're talking about. And they
I,
spice them.
yeah, and that's what I feel like bugs taste like, just like kind of like crunchy, shelly, like flavored crunchiness, but with no other. There's no meat texture. That's what I
But that's
imagine.
not but that's not true. Like so I read this
I
whole
would want
article.
it to not have a meat texture.
Understood. Sorry. I read this whole article about in Time Magazine that basically said not only like I can go through the whole thing, but like basically not only is it more sustainable and better for everything, the environment, blah blah blah, than animal protein, but it's basically crunchy on the outside and kind of meaty on the inside. Like he compared it to like
Chicken
pork
wings.
belly.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so he had but okay, so I mean, I don't even know where to start. I was so excited about that. Like as soon as I got into it, I got really dorky into it. So they actually believe insects can be an even more efficient source of protein than animals.
Oh, way more efficient. I mean,
Yeah.
think of how big a cow is, and think of how big a grasshopper is. And then,
And
like,
yeah.
yeah. Mm, go ahead.
Okay. No, but like 100%. And think about farming wise, how much space farming grasshoppers, which is what people are doing right now, as opposed to farming cows. You know what I mean? Just space alone, you can see how it's way more efficient. And the fact that you're getting basically 2 to 3 times more protein.
Yeah. So I know that bugs are probably going to happen and be mainstream pretty soon. I'm trying to keep an open mind and not be so like, ew, gross, because okay, fine. But also, it's a really good way to get me to eat bean burgers. Like, if like, okay, animals are out, we can't eat animals anymore because it's bad for the environment. That's fine. But like, if it's between a bug burger and a bean burger, I'm happy to eat a bean burger. I'm like, that's an excellent choice.
You know what's interesting? And you know my palate very well. I'm not against it.
I know what you mean. Like, I'm part of me is like, maybe,
So
but I still would rather have give me a bean
because
burger.
I made shrimp the other day and I was like, I was thinking about this. I was like, what is like, it's just kind of looks like an insect of the sea. And then they basically, so one of the things they said in this article is that like food culture does change. So they said 500 years ago, Italians thought tomatoes were poisonous. And now it's the base of like all Italian meals. And then 800, in the 1800s, sorry, can't read. In the 1800s, Americans considered lobster trash food and they fed it to prisoners. And then very few cultures ate raw fish. And then 50 years ago, and then look
I
at how
know, I
sushi has
know. And then
exploded.
the lobster stick, they actually had to like stop prisons from feeding it to them more than twice a week. I'm like, you guys had it so good. But and like, but there was one article that was like, we weren't we thought ramen was gross and sushi was gross and avocado was gross, but now we don't. And I was like, okay, first of all, no one thought ramen was gross. Like, don't confuse like
Don't confuse
unfamiliarity.
ignorance.
Don't confuse unfamiliarity with ick factor. Because nobody chased me around when I was little with ramen, you know, and I feel like I had a bunch of avocados crawling on my skin.
Yeah. Also, like ramen and spaghetti, like it's not a jump. All right.
It wasn't weird. It's not weird. It never was weird. Maybe sushi. Maybe they're all like, I don't want to eat a raw fish. That's crazy.
Well, my mom was like, I remember, because I got into sushi when I was a teenager from being in New York. Like I remember, so there was, when I worked at Ha Comedy Club, right across the street was this like, almost like a hut of a sushi place. And it was $5 and it was easy. And I didn't know anything about sushi. So I remember a comic teaching me like the gateway to sushi is like a California roll. So I started eating California rolls. And then he had an eel roll. So I tried an eel roll. And like, I eel, like my little tiny teenage brain was like, this is crazy. Like I'm so cultured. So I remember asking my mom if she wanted to get sushi. She goes, I've never had sushi. And I was like, Mom, what are you doing? So like, again, now I'm teaching my mom, and my mom was like, oh, I'm just really scared of raw fish. And I was like, well, we'll start with the gateway. And my mom loves it, like absolutely loves it. But I remember both my apprehension to it, and my apprehension was easier because like I was trying to fit in and these comics that I looked up to were doing it. So it's like, it was just like cultural peer pressure. But my mom was like, I'm in my 50s and I'm not going to die for a fucking, you know what I mean? For like a piece of salmon. But she was super scared. Like, you're not supposed to eat that raw.
Yeah. But now it's commonplace. That's what we bonded over sushi many times.
That's literally the basis of our friendship. Not only that, we had discount sushi. Like, what puts your life more at risk than why is this sushi discounted?
What are you doing?
Oh my God, dude, it was half price. We're like, what a deal. And I was just like, we might die.
It's fresh from the Hudson. Like, whoa.
I don't know. I'm absolutely obsessed with this. So this is the other thing, and I didn't look too deep into this, but they kept saying edible insects. So I was like, oh, like I get that clearly there's poisonous things, but like the most, let's call it the California rolls of insects is grasshoppers, crickets, and mealworms. Where I start to like crickets and grasshoppers, I actually think I'd be willing to try. Mealworms, texture wise, I'm already out.
That's the one that had me tapping out too. Like, I feel like if you crisped a grasshopper over an open flame and then put, a bunch of shit on it, I could eat that. I could eat a crunchy ass fucking cricket or grasshopper. But mealworms, because it's so squishy, and then they're just like, ew. Like, I was just watching this show on Showtime, and a bunch of girls starving in the woods. It was a soccer team that ended up in the Canadian woods because of a plane crash, and they cut open this animal, and it had a bunch of like maggots in it. So mealworms is the same to me as maggots.
I can see that.
Ugh, no.
Wiggly. I think I have a problem with wiggly. Yeah, like
That's
wiggling.
The perfect word.
Yeah,
wiggly.
Wiggling. I think my line is wiggling. Like you can't wiggle.
Noodles wiggle.
Huh?
Noodles wiggle.
Yeah, but not on their own accord. No. So this is the thing. So this guy that I was reading the article about basically said like he was given like a crispy grasshopper with salt and like was like, fuck it, I'm just gonna try it, and was like pretty good, like to the point where it's like a snack he really enjoys.
I think the face too.
So that's what I was gonna say. Great question. I think both the cicada tacos and then they were talking about like these bug tacos, I think not seeing it is the gateway. Do you know what I mean? Like, I still have a
block is that eyeball, and that's the
problem I have with fish.
Yeah, right.
Like, I don't want the head of a fish. I don't want to look my food in the eye. And I guess that's, why people are like, that's why you become vegetarian or vegan. Like, you clearly, if you can't look it in the eye, it's not like, but it's like, I don't know. I just don't want a ghost with me while I'm eating. Like,
I don't even know what, it's not even anything like, for me, it's not like, anything, a ghost.
I like that it took you a second. I don't want to share this meal with a ghost.
It's nothing like that for me. For me, it's just eyeballs are, does it pop? Like, I don't want to know the texture of it. I don't think it's not for consumption. I don't want to eat an eyeball.
I don't want to eat anybody's face.
Yeah.
So
Okay,
weird. Like,
let's stop you there. No one's asking you to eat anybody's face. Just
which is weird
asking you to eat
because like if
bugs.
you think about what we're eating, like legs and butts and stuff, and I'm just like, I draw the line at the face. Okay, so edible insects are grasshoppers, crickets, mealworms. They're rich in protein, contain significantly higher sources of minerals such as iron, zinc, copper, magnesium than beef, which I thought was crazy. And then what is interesting is that there are already tons of cultures that it's a part of their protein source. Like there are already so many. So like I said, like 2/3 of Madagascar population already eat insects in some form, usually as a snack. And then they basically said 2 billion people, mostly in Africa, Latin America, and Asia, already eat insects. So we're just behind the times.
Yeah. Or we just haven't had the need to eat insects. I don't know why didn't cavemen just eat insects instead? Why were they chasing big ass animals if they could have just been eating insects? Like instinctually, it doesn't make any sense.
Grasshoppers are very jumpy. Like I could see how that's even harder than a gazelle.
You think I don't know, like
what a great way to get a kid to hunt though. Like, hey, go get some grasshoppers. And you just see your kid bouncing.
This kid's just like
yeah.
trying to get these grasshoppers.
Have you ever seen a cat chase an insect? It's hard. Okay. It's fucking hard. So you're out here being like, why are you chasing a fucking gazelle? Well, you know what? Let me see if you could do better than my cats.
What about scorpions? I know that people eat scorpions.
Oh, really? Aren't they poisonous? Or I guess you just don't eat the poison butt or whatever.
I guess that's the exciting part of it. I don't know. Maybe it's like a
blowfish
where you have to like, you have to be
this side is swollen.
Do you eat scorpion again? Yeah.
Yeah, they're just so good. It's so crunchy. Okay, so they're like, you're right. Things are changing though. So Canada, there's like, I guess like a popular grocery store. And they now since 2018, they started stocking cricket powder, which people are using it as like a protein powder. And then this is also what you were saying. In January, the European Union Food Safety Agency declared yellow mealworms safe for human consumption. So like even like the government is being like, hey.
They should consider changing the name then.
Yeah, I think that's going to be a big, for Americans, I think that's going to be a big thing is like how it's marketed. So I remember my ex-boyfriend had a joke about how there was like, what do you call it? Bodybuilders were starting to have like insect power bars or something. Like there was some kind of nutrition bar that was made from insects, and he had like a joke about it. And that's how I like even knew it was a thing. And now knowing how much protein is in it, it's like, all right, if it's cheaper and has more protein, why wouldn't you do that? And and who the fuck knows what's in a power bar anyway? It's like,
well, I think there's like a lot of bugs in it anyway, just from like the plants that pack them and make them. You always hear about like, oh, I found a bug in my peanut butter. And it's like, now what, like now we want that.
Or like, do you remember the statistic that every bar of chocolate has at least one cockroach in it or some shit like that?
Yeah.
Like there's like, we can only be away from bugs so much. Like, don't get me wrong. My dad, this is like one of my favorite like dad stories. My dad had an egg salad sandwich in like 1975. And when he took a bite out of it, there was a crunch, and he opened it up and there was a cockroach. And he has not had egg salad since.
I don't blame him. That's disgusting. I heard a story about somebody biting into a piece of chicken that had a tumor in it. And I haven't eaten fried chicken from a restaurant since.
A tumor?
Yeah.
What's a tumor taste like? How do you know?
I don't know. I didn't ask. My mind filled in the blanks.
No follow-up questions, please. This interview is over.
I think it was Janine Haruni who told me that too. Like, I'm never gonna forgive her for that.
Please, no follow-up questions.
None. Yeah.
Oh, and also where you predicted correctly, an analyst at Barclays Bank is estimated insect protein the insect protein market could reach 8 billion by 2030. So they really think in the next like 5 to 8 years that we'll be seeing it kind of everywhere in grocery stores.
Yeah. I'll probably start with like insects being grinded into things.
Yeah, like a protein powder.
Like crackers and like snacks.
Yes.
Cricket
just
snacks.
like, yeah. But also in the world of influencers, all it takes is like a what's that guy's name? It's gonna bother me. He's like the dude that's always doing like crazy stuff for health, but all it's going to take is some kind of like health influencer or some celebrity that's like, oh, my skin, crickets. Like it's going to take a little bit of influency to then convince people that it has physical benefits. Like as we can see with most things, I don't think the gateway is health or the environment. Nobody seems to give a fuck. But if it's, you know what I mean? Like nobody seems to care about anything but themselves. So if it makes somebody stronger, if it makes somebody prettier, if it, you know what I mean? Like, so it can't be about like saving money and saving the environment because we're horrible people as Americans. It has to be like, I don't know, Julia Roberts. I should update my celebrities. But like, you know what I mean? It's like, she's like, the reason I still look like I'm 25 is because I eat a cricket every morning.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I get what you're saying.
Thank you.
Just appeal to their vanity.
Exactly.
And then be like, by the way, you've been saving the world from extinction. And they're like, okay.
All right. I'm just
I was hot doing it.
But as two world travelers, I mean, now I regret not getting bug when I was in Asia. Like I should have gotten some bugs.
There's a place to get bugs. You always see it on Food Network.
Yeah. And the thing is like I was alone for all of it. I would have needed like like, hey, do you want to go get bugs today? Like today's the day we get
bug person.
Yeah, bug guy. Honestly, the fact that I have any culture, I would say sushi is the only thing you didn't open. Sushi. And then I had shark in Spain the first time. Like Spain was like one of the first places I ever went overseas. I went with my friend Ignacio's from there. So I think I had shark with his family. I couldn't tell you how I felt. I mean, it was like 10 years ago.
It took me, I didn't have shark until I went to Norway, and I don't even think I had like normal shark. I think I had like smoked shark something, and it was fucked up. I don't know if I liked it.
I don't know. I'm willing to try stuff. You know that. And like, also you've been my culinary guide. So you'll be like, this is too spicy for you, or, hey, this is going to be a bit chewy, but I still think you should try it. Like, I'll try it, but like, you have to be okay with me being like, blah, 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 like spitting out something you paid for.
In 2008, I tried to feed you kale, and you, I'll never forget how much you hated me.
I tried it. And I stand by the fact, as somebody that eats a lot of kale now, it was too slimy, wilty. It was in a soup. I don't think I'll ever want kale in a soup. You made me soup.
I made you a Portuguese kale soup, and it was delicious. And I love kale in soup because it's sturdy. Because spinach is fucking fug. Spinach is like, I'm out. Kale is like holding its own in soup.
That's why I was named after it.
What?
Because it was Portuguese kale soup. It's not just Portuguese soup. Like, it's part of the name.
Oh, I see.
That's how sturdy it is. It's about dominance.
Figure out what part of your name was kale. Is her middle name Kelly? Like what is she talking about?
They call me Kelly Kale. Okay. I want to know if anybody's had insects in any form, whether it's like powder, or you went to Asia or Africa and you had, cricket snacks or whatever. Anybody that's had bugs, what it tastes like, if they enjoyed it, if they made it part, are they excited that it's slowly coming into Europe and America? I don't know. I'm interested, especially because, okay, think of the protein powder we have here. It's all whey based, and the verdict's out if it's like helpful or not. I wonder if insect powder is better.
Yeah.
And do you put it in your smoothie? What am I doing with this powder?
And are you still vegan if you eat bugs?
Oh, well, they're
not
bugs. No, but bugs aren't animals. Bugs are insects.
Someone tell us that answer too.
Yeah, we're done. Okay. Where can they write to us, Maria?
You can write to us. Bug us. I know a lot of you have already turned off, but at twonon-doctors@gmail.com. That's the number 2 full-word doctors@gmail.com. Thanks, guys.
Were you looking for another bug reference?
And I was like, what's in the middle of the 2 and the doctors? Non.
Thanks so much, guys.
Bye.